What's up, Buttercups? So, this is the next video in the Art Adventures program brought to you by the Dubuque Museum of Art. My name is Caitlin Donald, and I am one of the Education Fellows. And Tuesdays, I think I want to start talking about materials and projects. And Thursdays, I was thinking we could chat about movements and concepts and more, here it is, more conceptual kind of stuff. Get my pencil out of the way. So today's topic that we are going to talk about is called Rococo, the Rococo art movement. The reason I want to talk about the Rococo, R-O-C-O-C-O, Rococo movement is because it's literally an entire movement based on fun. There's no intense, serious discussions about who we are and why we exist. There's no... Let's see if I can... How do I get back? Oh, there it is. There's no, intense discussions about who we are as a people. It's just fun. Rococo is like the cupcake with all the frosting and sprinkles and pretty glittery things in the world. It's the cupcake of the art world. And I thought we could use a cupcake right about now. So, this is Rococo. Rococo is a movement. So I guess we'll start off by talking about what a movement is first. So an art movement, for those of you who don't know, is a style with a common goal or thinking, and it usually has a time frame. And it's always defined by a number of artists, multiple artists, doing the kind of the same thing for the same reasons. So Rococo is an art movement, and it started in the 18th century. It started with French nobles, so rich French people, who wanted to decorate their mansions. And that's pretty much, they were excited to have a little bit more freedom around this time. And so they spent their money on things that made them happy. Rococo, what you see, some of the characteristics, what tells you that it's a Rococo painting, is all these pastel colors. So, Rococo uses pastel colors. Pastels are kind of like what you would think of as Easter colors. So we have a lot of light pinks, a lot of light yellows, a lot of light blues. Like these two are probably the most common pastels. You got that light pink and that light blue. And these colors, when artists use them, I'll get them kind of out of the shadow. So when artists use these guys, a lot of times their artwork feels calm, it feels soft, it feels very light. And that's what the Rococo artists wanted. They wanted their artwork to feel fun and light and wonderful and playful. So that's one of the characteristics of a Rococo art piece. Another, so I will show you, let's see which one, this one has really good pastel colors. So look at all these beautiful pastels. You got these pinks and these beautiful light greens and these blues. We got some more greens over here. So it's very, very, very pretty, right? And very elegant, but it's very light. Then we have another thing about Rococo. You rarely ever, why are you not going back? There it is. When you have dark backgrounds, so you rarely ever get dark backgrounds in Rococos, but see how this is all darker? But I don't know. There it is. So we got a lot of dark back here. But the difference between a Rococo and other types of artwork like Baroque, which we could talk about later maybe, or things that are more serious, is there's hardly any shadows in these figures, right? You don't see a lot of depth. You don't see a lot of hard shadows, versus in other artworks you'll see a lot of shadows. And so it makes the figures almost glowing, right? With this dark background, we have very bright figures. And And so it kind of offsets that. We also have some sheep in this one, dog, we have a dove. So there's a lot of pictures of nature in Rococos. The other thing that's common in Rococos is, so again, we have our pastels. She's lost her shoe, you can see. But we don't have a lot of straight lines. So we don't have a lot of, I think maybe this one right there is probably the only straight line in here. But see, this one is curved. We have a lot more curved lines than a lot more straight lines. Because it creates a lot of movement, right? So those curved lines create a lot of action, but we'll go back to this one. See, here's a curve. We got some straight, but for the most part, it's a lot of curved lines. We got some straight lines, but a lot of nature curved lines. Curved lines create a lot of movement. So they make a lot of, they make your artwork kind of actiony, but curved lines don't make it dramatic. Hard straight lines can make an artwork a lot more dynamic, which is a word that we could use for about anything. But it makes it a lot more intense, I guess is what I was trying to say. You also find a lot of Rococo art in architecture. So a lot of the buildings at the time. And fun fact, pink was actually considered a manly color back in the day. It was kind of like a softer tone of red. So a lot of men wore pink, and it was like a cool man thing to do, a masculine thing. But again, you see a lot of these pastels, a lot of these ornate, like a lot of these really, really pretty decorations everywhere, right? So we have a lot of gold, we have a lot of really pretty things, and this is all to make those nobles feel happy. It's all about fun. And see, that figure is almost glowing in the background, or glowing on top of the background, that dark background. We have our pastels. And everything was about kind of this very rich lifestyle. So playful, fun, lighthearted, rich. These are kind of the things that define this. And her dress, even her dress, look at how all that fabric. Can you imagine sewing all that fabric? So the reason I wanted to talk about Rococo art as my first art movement, it's the easiest art movement. It's again, like I said, there's no intense thoughts really behind it. It's all about having fun. And so what I would like you guys to do, if you want, is you can maybe look around your house or look around your trailer or your apartment, wherever you're living, since you're there for a while. And think about how would you, if you were a French noble person, if you were a rich French person from the 18th century, way long ago, how would you decorate your room or your house? What kind of things would you draw and paint to make yourself feel happy and excited and fun? Kind of like a Rococo painting. And then again, if you make anything, I'd love to see it. You can send it to us, or you can post it in the comments. Thanks for hanging out. As always, I will see you on Tuesday, is when I'm going to post the next video. I really like these flowers. They're very pretty. But that's what Rococo is. It's very pretty. Did I miss anything? We didn't look at this one. But this is, again, more architecture. More pink and blues. All right, kiddos. I'm out. I'm going to go watch Harry Potter and eat dinner. All right. Have a good night, guys. Bye.